Plaintiff Trenton Kane is suing his ex-roommate for $2,019 for unpaid rent. Defendant James Johnson claims the plaintiff used magic and alcohol to mess with his mind. He says he owes nothing.
Please raise your right hands. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Morning, Judge.
Hey, Najee, how are you?
Doing well. Got
Good.
Case number 13 on the docket, Kane versus Johnson.
Great. All right, let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Mr. Kane. You are suing the defendant, Mr. Johnson, in the amount of $2,019 for an unpaid loan agreement. Please tell me your case.
Mr. Johnson and I met through a mutual friend. The mutual friend told me that James was looking for a place to live.
Yes.
And I had an extra bedroom in my apartment that was furnished. And I met James. I told him how much rent was. We made an agreement of $850 a month. We split utilities. It was a month to month. If he ended up not paying rent on time for any reason, he could leave at the end of the month.
Do we have the written lease? It's month to month, as you said, $850. Okay, and you both signed it. Go ahead.
Everything went great. We lived together, we worked well together. He was an aspiring musician, so there's a lot of hustle and struggle. So about 6 months went by, 5, 6 months, rent was on time, and then he's like, hey man, I'm waiting for a payment from one of the songs that I did. Can we extend? I'm gonna get the money to you in a couple of weeks. I said, sure. That actually ended up becoming collectively happening over and over.
Okay.
For additional months. I didn't kick him out because I knew how hard it is.
Right.
So he would end up paying the money towards the end of the month, and I used that for the next one. So he was always about a month behind.
But eventually he paid you. I'm not saying he paid you on time.
No.
Eventually he paid you.
That's
okay.
correct. Then about February, March, James kind of had a hard spot, and money wasn't coming in for him. So 1 month went by, and it was coming towards the second month, and I didn't have any payment. I was like, hey man, we're cutting it really short. I can't do this any longer. He goes, oh, it's all good. You know, I promise I'll get this back to you. I said, cool, you have to evacuate, leave. He said, all right, I will. But before he left, we spoke, and we agreed to have a contract with one another.
For what he still owed you for the time he was there and had not yet paid rent.
Yes, sir. I have the contract here. We agreed that, Your Honor, he would begin paying 30 days after he left. Then we had a 6-month payment plan. If he happened to have been late on any of those payments, I did put a 10% interest on it. That's mainly to hold him accountable.
Okay.
Long story short, I was drunk when I signed that.
No. The first month then, I didn't receive a payment. I reached out to him. I said, James, is everything okay? I haven't received a payment. I didn't get word back. And then a few days later, he said, yeah, I'll get this to you as soon as I can. Well, Your Honor, it happened 3, 4 months.
You're here because you want this contract enforced.
Yes, sir. We actually had the contract notarized as well.
Okay. I want to hear from you.
Well, Judge, Trenton's a good magician.
He's a magician?
Yeah, he's a magician, yeah. So he's really good at, playing with people's minds. So, and I know you have never probably lived with a magician.
Did he ever do any magic tricks for you?
I'd walk in the house, there'd be balloons floating, there'd be cats at the table eating at the same bowls that I ate out of. Dogs, he had a dog. He had 5 animals. And my girl would come over and she'd walk out and she would say he has another dog in there. And the dog wouldn't be like you never knew the animals went after. So I don't know if you need to call the police, Pete, or something. I just don't know. And there'd be birds flying out the window.
I had a little Noah's Ark in there, right?
It was really like just an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. After the tricks, everything disappeared. So, but I was. When I signed whatever I signed.
How did that happen? Explain to me the signing.
He took me out and he said, let's just end on good grounds.
So
I got this
was this in
covered.
the evening?
Yeah, it was
No,
early evening.
So what?
No, sir, that was in the morning.
Trenton. It doesn't matter when it was. You did it.
was
Well,
in
it
the
may
morning.
matter. Okay, so...
My mind is probably a little rocky because,
Okay, so you went out with him to get drinks,
yes, before I signed whatever I signed.
and you bought some drinks, or he
he
bought...
bought the
I
drinks.
did. Yeah, we actually had espresso martinis.
A few of them.
Okay, a few of them.
We had two. We had two.
I don't drink that out there. Your Honor.
Okay,
No,
so
he doesn't-
anyway,
he doesn't
so you
drink,
drank,
sir.
and then what happened after the drinks?
I'm
The way
being
that I
sued.
remember it, we drank and, you know, kind of talked things out.
Because
That was
he's
signed.
claiming that he signed it when he was... Are you claiming you were drunk?
I was totally drunk.
We had drinks afterwards, Your Honor.
So you're
No,
claiming he
no,
wasn't drunk
no.
when
No,
he
sir.
signed it.
Trent,
You're
stop
claiming you were drunk.
I definitely was drunk in order to sign something like that. I don't owe him that.
But if you stayed in his apartment
Correct.
for those months, which you don't deny, nor do you deny that he wasn't paid for that month. That's
well, now I'm denying that too because
you did pay
feel-
the $850
Yeah, I
rent
did
to him.
pay. I paid more
for
than
that month
Yeah,
for March.
I mean, added up, it should have been that because we had a sublease, and I don't know if that was legal or not. The type of sublease that he used.
I want to know what you paid. The initial contract says
$850.
you had to pay $850 a month,
$850.
and you're
And it
saying
was an
for the
overpay.
month, which he claims is March,
It was February and
for
March, sir.
February and prorated for March.
Right.
You paid him $850. Do you have a receipt for that $850?
No, and
do you
neither
have
does
a
he.
check? You wrote him a check for $850?
I don't owe him anything.
He didn't
No,
pay.
I'm saying, did you write him a check for? I want to know how you
I paid
paid.
in cash usually.
So someone here is lying.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
isn't an interpretation, because
Definitely.
he's saying for those months he paid you $850.
Not at all, because in February, he didn't have payment, and March, he didn't have payment, and we sat down together, and he said, let's go, we're gonna do it, I'll get you your money, you know.
If you said to him at any point that you'll get him the money, then you are admitting that you did owe him the money. On the other hand, this whole thing about the second contract of the repayment, so here's how I'm deciding.
May I inject,
Yes.
Your Honor? During those months where he wasn't making payments, I sent him emails and asking what was going on. I'd like to give this to you, and he would respond. He had a response. So I think that this shows that he had conscious intention of following through with the agreement that we did.
And I'm aware that I signed a contract.
But it
Yeah,
put
I'm
me,
not-
I had to pay the bills.
I am throwing out this last contract because I don't even need it, is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Because without the contract, the agreement you two had based on your behavior was that for $850 a month, I'm not getting into the utilities, but the $850 a month, you originally agreed to do.
But those
So
numbers
that's
don't
what it
even
is.
add up. Those numbers
Since
don't
you
add up.
stayed there in the month of February and part of March, I'm going to throw out the contract, so I'm not putting in any interest that he's asking for.
Yeah.
But the $1,836 of back rent is due because that's what the original agreement was. So I fine for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,836.
Thank you, Your Honor. We made a verbal agreement with one another, and he needed to be upheld to it, and it was.
I definitely wasn't. I didn't owe him anything, and he knew he took advantage of me, he got me drunk, and he got over on me. But no, I'm really actually disappointed today because I don't owe him anything.